I picked up one of the eyeshadow palettes from Pat McGrath's new Love Collection line they just launched. I got the iconic Infatuation palette. So for today's video, we're going to test the palette out. We're going to swatch it and do an eyeshadow look with it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you love makeup as much as I do, then you are in the right place. My name is Kara and I test new products so you don't have to. So like I had mentioned, Pat McGrath came out with a new collection called the Love Collection. It has 3 eyeshadow palettes, 7 liquid eyeshadows, 2 blushes, 2 liquid lipsticks, and the under eye powder. Now, I wouldn't say it's a new collection because as far as I know, some of the products in this collection are already existing. But I guess they would have just a new packaging. So like blushes, both blushes are already existing shades. The powder, the under eye powder is already an existing powder. I don't typically buy a lot of Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. I do have a couple, like the only time I buy a palette is if the color story kind of speaks to me. This one, I really like the color story, even though neutral, I really liked it. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go for it. But I don't know if this already exists. I have no idea. So you can buy the entire collection for $498, but then you can buy everything individually. They do have kind of little bundles here and there, but I just got a palette and let's just get started on this. So here is the front of the packaging. This is the iconic Infatuation. I absolutely love the heart with the crown on top. I love the packaging on this. And then the back of the packaging just shows you the ingredients. Here's the front of the actual palette. It's the same design as the packaging. Then the back of the palette just shows you the shade names. And inside the palette, you do get a nice mirror. And I really like the way the palette is set up. It's kind of like indented, if that makes sense. It looks really cute. And then here are the shades. Now the palette goes for $65. It has a 12-month shelf life and it is made in the United States. Here's a view of the side of the palette where I was saying the shades are kind of like indented. It's just like a really neat concept. So let's just jump right in and swatch the shades. This is Candlelight Affair, which is a beige champagne shimmer. Bare Venus, which is a neutral pink velvet matte. Platinum Divinity, which is a platinum rose metallic. Eternal Love is a mauve plum velvet matte. Forever Adored is a coral rose metallic. And Endearment, which is a neutral plum rose velvet matte. And then this is the entire palette swatched, which obviously swatched amazingly. Obviously, the palette swatched beautifully. I wasn't expecting anything less from Pat McGrath. The formula that they have is just simply chef's kiss, amazing. So let me zoom you in and we'll get started. So for primer, I'm using the Jaclyn Cosmetics, the First Base Primer, only because my tried and true primer, which is the Rare Beauty Eye Primer, I'm out of it. So I have to get more and I didn't have a backup. So we got to use something else that I like, and the First Base Primer is a top favorite of mine. I'm first going to go into Eternal Love with a Sigma E25, and I'm putting that on the outer part of my lid and then up into the crease. Next, going to go into Bare Venus with a Sigma E27, and I'm going to use that to start blending out this first shade that I put down. Back into that first shade, Eternal Love, just to kind of add a little bit more of that shade back into my crease. I'm gonna go into Endearment with a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH37 brush. And I'm gonna stamp that like on the outer lid and like up into the outer crease. I'm going back to my Sigma E25. I didn't put any additional product on it, and I'm just kind of blending over top of that darker shade and kind of blending it into the crease. I also went back into Bare Venus with my Sigma E27 and just lightly blending it over and like all over, basically. Now I'm taking a clean Sigma E40, just a fluffy brush, and just kind of gently blending over everything again, but with no product. Now I'm gonna go into Candlelight Affair with a Refer 21 brush, and I'm gonna put that kind of just in the middle of my lid, like where the shadow meets the empty space on my lid. So I think I'm actually gonna spray my brush. So I put the product on and then gonna spray it with some setting spray. With the same brush, I'm gonna go into Forever Adored, and I'm gonna put that on the rest of my lid. I'm gonna go back to my Sigma E25 and just gently blend over that shimmer. Next, gonna take Platinum Divinity with my Sigma LO4, and I am going to put that basically kind of like on top of that shimmer at the very top. So that's it for the top of the eyes. Let me go do the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll finish up the eyes. All right, I'm back. Let's finish up the eyes. I'm gonna go into Eternal Love with a Sigma E30, and I'm putting that along the entire lower lash line. Then I'm taking Bare Venus with a Sigma E33, and I'm using that to blend out the lower lash line. And last, I'm going back into Platinum Divinity with my Sigma LO4. That's gonna be my inner corner highlight, and I'm also gonna put it right on the inner third of my lower lash line. Alright, and that's it. So let me go do lashes and liner, and I'll be back to show you the finished look and tell you my thoughts about the palette. Alright, I am back, and here's the finished look. actually used the highlight shade in the palette as an actual highlight, and it actually came out pretty well. I mean, it's a bit glittery, so if you don't like glitter, you probably wouldn't like it, but it actually turned out really nice highlighting the skin. As for the shades in here, they blended out beautifully. There was no fallout at all. Even with the shimmer and metallic shades in the palette, there was no fallout, which is always a good thing. I love when there's shadow that doesn't have fallout. As for the palette itself, I do like it, but how many looks can you really come up with this palette? I'm not sure. You could probably get a couple looks, but I think they're generally gonna look the same. For $65, getting 6 shadows, you're paying for the name and you're paying for the quality, because it is great quality. Overall, I like the palette. I think I love the packaging. It's beautiful. The shades are beautiful as well. They're very neutral. So if you're a neutral girl and you like wearing these type of shadows, you're gonna like this palette. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will have the palette linked down in the description box below, as well as the entire collection if you guys want to check that out. I'll also have linked down below everything else that I'm wearing on my face today. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all again soon.